There's a few things that you must do before you reach out to these people, and it's a 3-step process which we're gonna go through today. So let's get right into it. Number one, what do you need to do before you reach out to them? So many times I see people put the cart before the horse and just reach out cold, and they don't have these steps taking place, and then it's gonna be crickets. So first and foremost, you have to make sure that your IG page is on point. Your Instagram page is going to be your digital handshake. It's going to be your instant business card. Now, influencers and probably many of your customers are on Instagram, and if you link to your Instagram in your emails to them, they're going to come check you out. What can they learn from you at a glance, right? So first and foremost, your bio. What does this say? It needs to clearly say what you do, how you help people, and maybe a fun fact about yourself. Number two is your picture. It needs to be a clear picture of your face. Now, if you have a blurry picture or you have a funny picture, it's not necessarily going to convey the right image. Here's what I mean by all of this. People are judging you.
Don't judge me, monkey.
It may not be fair, but it's the fact of the matter. When they see you, first impressions matter. They look at your picture, they look at your bio, and they look at your content, and they make a snap judgment for you. Even if they don't say it out loud, they're making that judgment in here, and you want to make sure you're giving yourself the best chance straight out the gate. So when they look at your content, you want to have content there that shows your expertise, and you also want to have content there that shows who you are personally so someone can learn about you. So this could be professional content that shows how you help clients, answering questions, the work that you're doing, and then also some personal content, maybe you and your family, you doing your hobbies. And just try and level up the content quality. It doesn't necessarily need to be perfect. There's definitely value to posting raw and authentic pictures, but at the same point, you wanna make sure that you have a good mix of quality content because like I said, they're gonna judge you based on this. Now, good content can outweigh lack of audience, right? So if you have some good content, you have a good bio, good picture, this can outweigh the fact that maybe you only have 500 followers or maybe you only have 1,000 followers, right? And also, this is just a good strategy in general to grow your IG page because when you drive traffic to your IG page, the better your page looks, the better your digital handshake is, the more chances you have of people hitting the follow button. So the point of this whole section is we want you to build up your IG page first before you reach out because that's going to give you the best chance to get to step 2 and step 3. Step number 2, how do you reach out to these people? The first thing you need to think of before you do any of this is you have to realize that the life of an influencer, life of a high profile business person is very busy. They're packed pretty much from morning till night, right? And their personal time is extremely valuable to them outside of work, right? So they can only take on so many things outside of their normal day-to-day responsibilities. So you have to go in with that mindset. Too many people reach out without having any understanding of what's on the other person's plate. How many times do you hear of people reaching out saying, I'd love to pick your brain, or let me jump on a 30 or 60-minute call with you, right? The person who is extremely busy and successful doesn't necessarily have time for that. They don't know you. And even if they did have a 30 or 60-minute window, why would they give it to an unknown individual, right? So you must think, how can I cut through the noise and how can I get through to this person without sounding selfish? So the best strategy to reach out to them is to not DM them. I know people are sending DMs all day long, but if you have a big audience and the DM goes to the unknown inbox, you're just buried below hundreds, maybe thousands of other DMs. Most likely they will never see that DM unless they happen to see it come through at the time when they're on actively using the platform. The better way is to send an email. So you want to look up their email address. Now you may ask me, how do you find this person's email address? That is a very basic thing that I think all of us should be able to do by this point. If you can't do that, you probably have some other problems to address first. So look up their email. There's ways to find it. I know you can do it if you just put in a little bit of research. Send them an email, and the first thing about that email needs to be the subject line. If you think about a busy person's inbox, the only way to stand out in the inbox is to have a really good subject line. So this subject line is like your profile or your thumbnail on a video, right? It's the only way to stick out in a sea of emails. By the way, I'm filming a course that goes over the exact templates that I use on this topic, plus specifics on how to do the content and the IG page setup that we talked about in the previous section. So if you are interested in any of this stuff, see the link in the description because I'm gonna pre-sell the course now at a huge discount to the full price once we actually release it.
And now back to your regularly scheduled program.
Okay, so now you've connected with their team or you've connected with them and they've set up an interview or a podcast or a quick call with you. You don't want to be a fanboy. When you reach out to these people or when you connect with them individually, you don't want to be just the guy who's super, I don't know, annoying or...
And my tiny little nipples went to France.
What did he just say?
Or, you know, just wants a selfie and doesn't even care about the conversation and just is thinking about, oh, I just want to post this on my page so that way I can, you know, surprise people, right? You want to be there and really be confident in yourself and really be there for the purpose of bringing value. And even if you're new to the industry, remember, these people are just normal people at the end of the day. You don't have to approach them as if they're superstars. I know that a lot of us follow these guys and they become kind of bigger than life, but you'll find when you meet them, they're just regular day people like you and I. They just had the vision or the expertise or the discipline to execute on their ideas, and that got them to where they are today. The other important fact is, while you're in this meeting with them or while you're in this interview, you want to make sure to build a real relationship, right? These connections can lead to more connections, and you want to have that long-term view because the value of this meeting could translate to huge business opportunities for yourself down the road.
Because that happens also, most people don't understand.
Yeah.
Like freaking you go hire a coach or a consulting with a, you know, celebritized person.
Yep.
Next thing you know, if you're a cool person, next thing you know, you end up freaking buddies and you're texting people for years.
Yeah.
When in reality, you got 15 minutes, son. Well, that 15 minutes turned into an hour 20. Hour 20 turned into, you know, tic-tac. Now you got a little connection.
Yeah.
Relationships are the new economy.
Big time. So I think, you know, paying to be in a room, you could think it's a waste of money, or you could think it's the best money you ever spent based on what you do with that little window you got.
Now that you've got the piece of content, whatever it may be, you want to be able to squeeze that content. So there's many things that you have to do, which I go over in other videos, but just at a high level, here's the things you must do with the video. You want to have a long form video first. You want to create stories around your behind the scenes footage of you going there, maybe visiting there, maybe even create a quick vlog about how you traveled there, how you got the interview, what you guys are going to talk about, and be sure to stay tuned. So that way you're giving the audience like some things to look forward to, and you're actually getting a lot more value out of your trip to the interview, not only just the interview, but the before, during, and after behind the scenes. And then from each interview that I do, I'm able to create micro pieces of content. These pieces of micro content get me maximum exposure on multiple platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Reels on Instagram, short form video on TikTok. I mean, the list goes on and on as far as how many pieces of content you can pull from a single interview. If the interview is really good, you could even get to 100 pieces of unique content from one single interview. So that's all we got for you guys today. If you have questions about any of the sections that we went over today, or if you want to go deeper on a particular topic, leave a comment below so I could address it on a future video. And be sure you're subscribed because I'm gonna be doing deeper topics on a lot of the strategies that I used to get these interviews. I'll see you guys on the next video.